Listen, I'm as surprised as you are that it's time for another one of these, but here we are at the end of January that I'm filming this. It is time for a fresh top shelf. So my top shelf series, if you're new here, is, well, it begins with me having to clean this room. I have no object permanence. I truly have no object permanence. Like, I burn food if I put a lid on it. Like, I forget that it exists instantly. And I've had to forgive myself for that because this room becomes kind of a hoarder's nightmare. And then I just clean it up all at once. And when I do, I have that like Marie Kondo moment where I'm like holding something and I'm like, this sparks too much joy to put back in the drawer, you know? And this time, as I was going through the drawers, I pulled some stuff out that wasn't already out. I was like, I shouldn't have put that back. So this is kind of almost like a shopping my stash version of my top shelf. I think that it's kind of appropriate because we are talking a lot lately about the industry kind of coming back to basics. And this is definitely a reflection of that. I'm gonna have a little bit of skincare, mostly makeup. I'm really stoked to share it with y'all. But first, I want to talk to y'all about today's sponsor. There's a reason all the makeup right now is like pink. It's because Valentine's Day is upon us and you know what that means. I'm gonna talk about gold jewelry, okay? Louisa remains my favorite and my most worn jewelry brand. I get so many compliments. I'm just like waiting in line to get my lunch and somebody's like, I love all your rings. With very few exceptions, it's all Louisa. And I know how easy it is to get stumped about gifting sometimes for a loved one for Valentine's Day. I wanted to share a few of the pieces that I have gotten most recently and encourage y'all to really go check out the variety on site. It kind of doesn't matter who you're shopping for, there's something for everyone. There are really modern, trendy pieces, there are really classic, timeless pieces. There's their original gold plating, all recycled gold, they have sterling silver, they have diamonds, they have solid gold, and the styles start at $39, and that's before the awesome sale that they have on site right now. So let me show y'all my new stuff, my new sparklies. So first, these earrings. This beautiful blue and white design is something that is very much like part of the Louisa brand and has been for a long time. They have a lot of different shapes in this kind of style. It is really nice to be able to integrate a pop of color in my jewelry. You'll notice I usually wear a green ring as well. I'm gonna be sharing a new ring with y'all today, that's why I'm not wearing it, but that one is also from Louisa. They do some really cool, again, ways of having really luxurious looking pieces that still incorporate like a pop of color without looking costumey, and I love that about their pieces, and they're the ones that I get the most compliments on. So I just love how these are like different, but they're understated, and they're really easy to wear, they're really lightweight, and I personally just love how unique they are. Let's talk about this ring, okay? I love a statement ring. And like I said, I usually wear it as a retired style now, but the malachite ring, let me use this as an opportunity to encourage you. If you like something on site, really think about snatching it up because sometimes their styles come back and sometimes they're gone forever. And that's just kind of the nature of it. So that malachite ring has like never come back on site, but it's the one that people ask me about the most. Now this is probably the biggest piece that I have ever gotten from Louisa. It's so awesome. Like, it's a really, really substantial ring. I love that it makes this really great statement, but at the same time, what is it? It's just smooth. It's so timeless, it's so classic, but I love feeling adorned and like big things like that that like really attract your eye. That is my kind of adornment. I love to mix those things up. And I skipped the whole stack today and went for just this beautiful minimal chain. I love the length of it. Like that's a huge thing for me. So many times you'll see these chains and I'm like, okay, like what? It's all the way down here. I'm not gonna put a charm on it. I just wanna wear a chain. And this one is so cool. It's bold enough to wear on its own, but it's understated enough to look really great in a stack. I don't know if y'all noticed, but I am really into like collar-sized necklaces. I like that they show on camera, but it's also just, I think, really flattering. So that is just a tiny sampling of what they have on site right now. I encourage y'all, especially if you're looking for gifting around Valentine's Day, to go check out Louisa, go check out their sale on site. You can use my link down below. And thank you so much to Louisa for sponsoring a portion of today's video. And with that, let us commence with my top shelf. I have them all behind me. Wait. Doing a lot of this. I've said it before, the Ultra Repair Cream, this one is empty. This is the first thing that touches my skin no matter what after I have washed my face or when I wake up in the morning. I also use it on my son's skin. He has the itchiest, driest winter skin. I feel so bad for him. And this stuff will cure his skin overnight, like heal it. It's awesome stuff. And it's not my entire moisturizing routine. Obviously, I've got plenty of stuff sitting here, but it is indispensable. The next thing that I've rediscovered in terms of skincare that really does begin to round out a very effective moisturizing routine for me and my winter skin is the original Dr. Jart Ceramide. Like, they sent it to me a while ago. It's not expired or anything. I actually hadn't opened it yet, but when I stumbled upon it, I was like, I remember that stuff being really lovely, and I was right. I used this on my kid too. It's just such a great kind of like, I think a second step, especially after your serums and stuff. I have still, obviously, I just talked about it like 2 videos ago. I still use the daylights out of all of my Allies of Skin stuff, mainly the Growth Factor Serum and the Bakuchiol. Those will be linked down below as well. Yeah, this is the original Skin Barrier Moisturizing Cream. It does what it says it does. It actually has a kind of interesting like blurring, going on empty here. It has a blurring effect on the skin, which is completely unnecessary as something that you would like wear at night, who cares? But it's kind of interesting how it keeps me from picking because I'm just like, huh, my skin looks fantastic. You know, it has like that little bit of cosmetic enhancement on my skin that like might make the difference between me examining my pores too closely that night. Then we have this. I don't talk about Rhode enough, I'm gonna be honest, and I don't have their new body reverse emulsion, but like, this stuff goes on my skin twice a day, no matter what, and I have it in backups, like backstock in my bathroom. Yeah, this is obviously the Glazing Milk. Beauty YouTube can't shut up about this stuff, and it remains excellent. It's not just some sensation because it was Hailey Bieber and we're talking about it. In fact, most of us were resistant to liking Rhode, and it's just that good. It overcomes all of our collective cynicism, and this product is bananas. It's so thin, it's so gorgeous. It has this beautiful finish on the skin, like it just leaves behind this cosmetic gorgeousness where the light reflects off of it. Game over. It's so hydrating and it's so pretty. It's not very expensive. Speaking of not very expensive, I was just starting to test this out, I think, in my last one. I'm not sure. But this is the Pre-Cleanse Cleansing Oil. I don't use the cleanser as much. What do I use? Oh, I've been using the Tower 28 Skin Cleanser. I really like that stuff. And this is the new prequel, like, you know, makeup remover oil. I love a makeup remover oil. I have not been traveling as much, so I've been going through a makeup remover oil faster lately than I would a balm. You know, I carry a balm with me when I travel. What I love about prequel is that they're inexpensive, and so they're not setting the bar super high in terms of like, this is gonna change your life. They're like, this is gonna become your new mainstay. And it is. It has all the things that I really like because it breaks my makeup down, turns it into a milk. There's no like wiping, there's no like questioning whether it worked, but it also doesn't have like fragrance in it and all that nonsense. You know, it's just like no unnecessary fluff. So this is lovely stuff. And finally, I literally can't believe that this is something that's like part of my routine. I can't explain this stuff. I don't know if Future Dew, this is from Glossier, Future Dew. I don't know if it's technically a reverse emulsion, but it's so pretty. And it's just such a fantastic last step. I'm gonna put it on my other hand because she's feeling dry and lonely. So looks like that. It doesn't actually have, maybe it does. Does it have actual luminosity to the formula? Possibly, but it's a combination, like it's, you know, there's biphases and there's reverse emulsions, and reverse emulsions I think are just biphases that have had some kind of emulsifier put in them so that they stay mixed. This is just so divine. And it is a really beautiful, like I said, occlusive layer on the skin without being Vaseline. I mean, I'm not knocking Vaseline. It's very effective as a slugging layer, but this is really beautiful and it doesn't like get all over everything. And I always wake up and my skin still looks fabulous. So all of those things are fairly reasonably priced. They're in the range of affordable to affordable. This is not, but I love it anyway. This is the Westman Atelier Skin Activator, and I truly bought it at one point because I think that it's one of those things where I was like, as a beauty reviewer, I'm giving myself an excuse to buy this so I can talk about how unimportant it is. Like what a gimmick it is or how it's not worth the money or whatever. And like, you can decide whether it's worth the price. It's really expensive, but the fact is I paid for it and I have it in my hands, and when I use it, my skin looks fantastic and it never disagrees with any of the makeup or the skincare or the sunscreen on my face, which is more than I can say for other things. Like I brought this up here. I've been using this. I'm absolutely not saying the name of that on camera. Like, no way. Not happening. But this is the new Edam Ultra Calming Rescue Mist. Gorgeous. Makes my makeup pill. Makes everything pill. Makes my skincare pill. It's just unfortunate. So that was the quick and dirty on the skincare. I'm not really a skincare channel, but I thought that y'all deserve to know because that's the nature of this video. Let's talk about complexion. Now, when I'm talking about top shelf, sometimes I'm talking about things that remain out because I'm using them all the time. And sometimes it's like this is left out because I'm still testing it and I'm very curious about it and I want y'all to know that. So these are the ones that are out because I love them. We have the Lisa Eldridge Skin Tint. I've rubbed the label off of it. Someone said it's because this is Eco Ink a lot of times, and so it's just kind of like not as committed on the package, but you're gonna have to believe me, this is the Lisa Eldridge Skin Tint, and I think this is gonna be my top shelf forever. Like, this is almost empty. I can feel it's very light. Every single day I get some kind of message from someone thanking me for recommending this. But one of the toughest critics in the world, my mother, and she's not a tough critic because she's a tough critic. She's a tough critic because she just has difficult skin. At 67 years old, like, it's just kind of hard to find something that like is easy and like really flattering and better than just like not wearing any makeup. And she bought this and she's like, absolutely. So it's like, I can wear it and my mother, who's 30 years older than me, can wear it. Okay, this is amazing, amazing stuff, and it has really, really effective skincare in it, and you don't usually hear me talk about that. Usually I'm like, don't put skincare in my makeup, but like, I didn't know there was skincare. I just started to notice the benefits. And Patrick Ta, for all of the heck I give him, okay, about some of his latest releases and the fact that my label is on crooked. The Major Skin Hydra Luxe Luminous Skin Perfecting Foundation, it is all of those things. It is so luminous, it is so hydrating, it is so welcome in my life. It is something that I recommend to people this time of year when they ask for something that is super, super hydrating. I'm like, you know what? I used all of this is one of my like most proud moments as a makeup reviewer because we never finish products, especially a foundation. I finished the Chanel Sublimage Latin last year. I'm proud of that. It is an incredible winter hydrating foundation, but like this, I'm not gonna say they're exactly the same, but hydration level, very, very similar. It's just giving that like, wow, you know, in the summer, this might be too much kind of thing. So that's what my skin needs right now, and that's why it is in my top shelf for right now. A couple of things that I am preliminarily excited about. I'm not telling you to go out and buy these things, but I am preliminarily excited about them and I'm keeping them in my top shelf because I'm excited to continue trying them. One is the new one from Makeup Forever. I'm so torn on this packaging, but it is effective for what they went for. But this is the skin tint. They just came out with a skin tint, you know, and it is a skin tint and it's really pretty, and I don't have my thoughts together on it, but I wanted y'all to know that I'm testing it. It does have a scent. Apparently, a lot of their releases have had scents lately, and I just missed that, even though I bought their last two foundations. Either way, I'm really hoping that this is like a redemption arc for them in terms of complexion products, but it remains to be seen. And the other one, if y'all watched my Instagram stories yesterday, this stuff is bananas. Okay, this is the Decipher foundation, and I ordered 3 of them, all in different finishes and coverage levels. And what this is a foundation from a brand that will take a, you know, couple of pictures of you online. They take like 3 photos of you in natural light without makeup, and they go, okay, we know your skin tone now, and then they just make a foundation in that color. I mean, look at it, look at that. It's exactly my skin tone. It's kind of ridiculous. And even when I swatched it on my stories, I was like, they're not all exactly the same. I hadn't shaken one of them well enough. Now they're all pretty much exactly the same. So I'm excited about these, excited to share these with you. I'm just kind of testing the formulas off camera right now, but what a cool idea. And I am actually really impressed by them so far. What would be my next step putting things on my face? Concealer. I have 4 here, and I have really been retesting my concealers lately because my skin has been so dry, and I feel like my under eyes, especially because I wear so much more skincare in order to try to alleviate the dryness, I feel like it makes complexion products that much more temperamental, especially underneath my eyes, which are just like the driest, most sensitive part of my face. And so it's really put some formulas to the test and knocked some out of contention. Like Kosas and Tower 28 cannot stand up to my dry under eyes right now. First, I want to touch on the CeraCreal. I don't actually use this on my under eyes. I know everybody's like, that's what it's for. It's so great for aging under eyes. I need a little more hydration than that, but I love its stick-to-itiveness on the rest of my face. I love the coverage level, and it's just a fantastic formula. It's very flexible, it's very pretty, pleasure to interact with, and I just find that it's incredibly reliable. That's gonna be the theme of a lot of this, is like why I pulled it out of my drawers or why I didn't put it in my drawers when I was cleaning up, is because like it is something that is both exciting and reliable. The next one is the CL concealer, the, what do they call it? The Conceal and Protect SPF 50. I use it right here. on my face specifically. I mean, you can use it underneath your eyes. I do need something specifically more hydrating right now, but this is a really fantastic formula in terms of buildability. You can wear this so thinly and it also builds really well without getting like makeup-y per se, which is really nice because that's what you want as a physical barrier when you're talking about wearing a sunscreen makeup, right? This has been really well executed. I do have their new highlighters and I have some thoughts. That's gonna be probably in the next trying new makeup. Then we have the ones that actually are hydrating. We have the Tom Ford, which is like $60 or something, like good grief. But I have this in 0W0 Uwu Shell, and it's lovely. I don't really know what else to say about it other than like Tom Ford really is, I feel like kind of underappreciated in terms of the sophistication of their foundations. They really talk a lot about their eyeshadows and their powder products and things like that. Oh my God, the back of my hand is so pretty right now because of all that skincare that I put on there. But like this just, it agrees with everything. It's so easy and it does have that bit of hydration to it, but also it doesn't stay slippy slidey. I don't even feel like I really need to powder this. And just like the CL, I feel like the coverage is so flexible. I don't want to say back from the dead, but I did kind of object permanence, like forget about her. I always say products get eclipsed by new releases and then my ability to hold them in my brain is just, so this is back in rotation, back in heavy rotation. This is the Givenchy, nope, not gonna try French, Prison Libre Skin Caring Concealer, and this is the most hydrating concealer I own. I do actually have the Sublimage Under Eye Concealer. Maybe I should pull that bad boy out and see like how it compares. Note to self, editing Kackie, write it down. But I wear this in N95. It's a phenomenal shade match for me. And this actually, even though they did raise the price, I think by a few dollars, it's still very cost effective. Like much more cost effective than most of the concealers that you're going to buy at Sephora, which is surprising, but it's just a large container. It wears so beautifully on me all day. I have heard, I don't know, that it's like very specific to like my age group. Young people, like very young people, don't really get a lot of meaning out of it. They're like, who cares? It's, you know, might as well be anything. And then older people are like, it slippy slides around and it gathers. I feel like there's like a 10 or 15 year like age around me. I'm about to be 38, where like this is the one. So just take that on board, take that into consideration if you are thinking about it. Oh my gosh, I guess this is technically a highlighter. It's not though. I'm gonna go ahead and talk about it. So this is the Unreal Skin Sheer Glow Tint Hydrating Foundation Stick. So I did kind of accidentally skip over it. From Charlotte Tilbury. This is one that made it back out of the drawers, okay? I love this stuff. And it was like, I was walking through Sephora and I saw the display and I was like, I have so many endorphins when I look at that display. Why don't I pull that thing out more? It is great. So one of the kind of longest standing phenomena of Charlotte Tilbury's Complexion line is that many people, including myself, have reviewed the Flawless Filter as if it is a foundation before she had, you know, the sensation around the Flawless Filter for a lot of people. And so people were like, wow, that's a really shiny foundation. And it's like, it's not a foundation, it's just a thing all its own. And I'm not like the world's biggest fan of it, but it's like this really came in and like closed the gap on that in her collection where she was like, obviously there is a demand for a glowy as you know what base product that still behaves like a base product and doesn't make you look like the Tin Man. And that's what this does. This is like, you don't need very much of it and it acts as kind of like a virtually invisible, like enhancing blurring layer on the skin. And then you can use, you know, higher coverage complexion product to actually cover anything you want to cover. But this is such an improver of the skin and it also doubles as a highlighter, a really beautiful, sophisticated highlighter. So I'm pulling this one out because we are talking a lot about skin tints coming out right now. And I'm like, I still want to keep this in the rotation, keep it in the conversation. Contours. I have been using mainly, well, I've been using 3. We'll talk about it in a second. So, Dior. Dior Forever. Okay, I need to say this. I'm working on a video for y'all about relative temperature. I need to figure out how to package it, like title it and thumbnail it in a way that like conveys what the video is actually about because it feels kind of like a secondary or tertiary lesson in terms of my curriculum that I've made about color theory. It's like you kind of need to have watched other things to like care about it. Nonetheless, I've been getting all these questions lately about how to use contour and why some people use bronzer as contour. And I just like want to break apart the the entire idea of products being certain products and just start talking about them in terms of color and formula and deciding what you want from there. All that to say, I've been using some contours that serve different purposes in that sense lately, and it's become even more evident as I'm looking at these. So we have the Dior contour. I'm just piling things on my hand. I have not wiped anything off yet. So you can see, very relatively cool to my skin. This is shade 1. And what I always say about this is like, I use this constantly, and look at that. It's like you can still see it. It's wildly cost effective for what it is. It's gorgeous. It is so concentrated, but it blends so beautifully. I'm actually wearing all 3 of these today because I apparently can't be stopped, but this was such a quick winner. And honestly, we were all prepped and primed for it, right? It's not like this is a new product. It's just in new shades that work really well. So this is the Charlotte Tilbury Contour Wand Easy Contour in the new shade Fair, you know, part of the new line. And this, as you will notice, is much warmer, and we're still calling it a contour. That's because, I will go ahead and spoil it, there's kind of no such thing as one or the other. It's all about relativity. Again, there will be demonstrations. I know some of y'all are like, no, I need to be more, like, you need to tell me what this is, but like, trust me, I'm going to make it feel very safe and easy for you. So that is the contour wand, and I found that I'm able to use it as a bronzer in a lot of ways. It's just very pretty. I think that that's what makes it so easy to use, is that if you get it on your cheeks as a bronzer, you don't look muddy. It's just kind of flattering. Even when I put way too much on because I was doing like an underpainting technique in my last New at Sephora video, and everyone who watched that video knows like what an absolute all-out disaster that video was. But some people commented that before I put my complexion product on, they were like, the combination of the contour and the bronzer just makes you look like you had a little bit too much sun, and it's actually really pretty. And I'm like, I think the same thing. Like, it can be a little scary, right, when you put this on, because you'll see a lot of contrast. You're like, ooh, have I gone too far? Is this the wrong shade? Whatever. But it's because it also has like a really great bronzing effect, which would be bad if it weren't as easy to blend as it is, but it's super thin and easy to blend. So, and the third one, I mean, good grief, right? I haven't ordered the Natasha Denona one yet, although I still have it. I should probably just use the old one. I've recently learned that powders like basically don't expire. I could hit it with some alcohol and probably just keep using it. But nonetheless, I keep using this, and this is kind of right there in between. This is the Film Star Bronze and Glow. It's right there between, a little peachier, and it works great. I always say, in terms of contour and the illusion that you're trying to build with contour, sometimes you can accomplish just as much by changing the finish on your skin. So a matte finish on something is going to absorb light, and it's going to accentuate the illusion of shadow without you having to put something like darker or cooler on your skin. It can just be the fact that it is not shiny. So that's what this does. It's a really great like finishing thing for me when I like want to shorten my forehead in a look. I don't know why some days my forehead is taller than others. All right, in terms of highlighters, I will surprise exactly no one by saying that, you know, this is still in heavy rotation. It's actually kind of fun. I'm like starting to see this like little divot, and my one downstairs also has a little divot. This is Peak Heat. I don't use this one as much as I use Doll Dynasty. Doll Dynasty is starting to get this like curve in it. I'm like very proud of my progress on it, but these are unbelievable. They're gorgeous. These are the gradient highlighters. This is Peak Heat from Hindash. And it's just, I think, one of the better buys when it comes to highlighters and honestly finish on the skin, because it just is so flattering. It's so easy to use. It's idiot proof. Like, you cannot overdo it. It looks like you're about to put eyeshadow on your face, and it's just not the case. I mean, if you're gonna put it on your face, don't buy one that's too dark for you, you know, and then it will show up dark. But my point is, the formula really packages Hindash's way of interacting with makeup and putting it on models' faces. You know, the way that he's like, everything is so seamless. This is that in a compact. And then, you know, we have been trying quite a few like liquid and cream highlighters lately, and some of them have been pretty impressive, but I find that when it goes to me doing my makeup on my own and me wanting to reach for something, it is these two things, okay? And they're both by Chanel. This is the Chanel LeBlanc Rosy Light Drops. This is the easiest liquid highlight I have ever used. It is so seamless and gorgeous, and it has this finish on it that really reads as like a brightener. And so I will use it underneath my makeup, like on my under eyes or any place that I have a little bit too much like gray pigmentation to my skin or something, and it just adds this beautiful luminosity that is not, again, it's not Tin Man. I've really built it there. When you put it on your under eyes with a sponge, it just is like barely there, this lovely lit from within thing. It's so sophisticated, and I think it makes all the difference in the world. And then I'm gonna buy the clear one. This is the Baume Essentiel from Chanel. This is in Dragé, but I want the clear one because the way that this works is, yes, it has color and it has some shimmer to it, and some have more shimmer than others, but the main thing here is the texture. The way that it makes your skin look like skin again underneath, so it's very much like that Patrick Ta blush technique effect, but you can get it in something that's colorless, so you could just like bring back any of that like hydrated, like truly actually hydrated appearance, like on your under eyes or whatever, when your makeup is looking really fatigued, or if you just want to like do that when you're done putting your makeup on, you just want to add a little bit more like skin texture back in. It is one of the most agreeable, well-behaved products of this nature that I have ever used. It is actually, it is the most agreeable of this nature that I've ever used. Like, for all of its beautiful emollients, it has no business not disrupting your makeup, and somehow it does not disrupt your makeup. We used this on my friend Natalie for her wedding day. Like, you wouldn't usually throw something like this on someone's face on their wedding day because you wouldn't think that it would be long wearing. You can count on the Baume Essentiel, and that is why it's like a back to basics. I cannot put it back in the drawers. Y'all, I do not know what has happened to my Armani powder bronzer. I have absolutely turned this room upside down and I can't find it. If I can't find it soon, I'll just buy another one. It would absolutely be in my top shelf. I have been using the daylights out of it. It is my favorite powder bronzer of the moment, but like, where is she? And in place of that, I have pulled this back out. This is the Westman Atelier Beauty Butter Powder Bronzer. This is an underappreciated product because it was one shade for so long. I think now they have 3. What an awesome formula. It's still a powder, but it's like one of the most hydrating, flattering powders. And for the people who need a rosy bronzer, it goes on me very rosy. It doesn't look like it's going to, but it does on me. At least. I am a warm leaning neutral. It might go too orange on a like an olive undertone or something like that, but if you are complected like me, this goes on in a really flattering, easy to use, again, idiot proof kind of way, and the color is so easy. Makeup Forever, I think, continues to get my money right now in terms of trying new things from them, because it's just riding on the coattails of how much I love this thing, and I continue to keep it out and continue to use it, especially because it's like when I blank on what I'm putting on my face, I can just open this up and this is the answer. So this is the HD Face Essentials palette. I'm trying to read it upside down. It's just, I mean, it is exactly what they say that it is. These are really, really beautiful, sophisticated cream formulas of all of the colors that you're seeing with your eyes right now. And you have a lot of warmth, a lot of coolness, a lot of neutrality, a lot of differentiation. You have your contours, your complexion, your blushes, your highlights. It's excellent. So it comes in 2 colorways for skin tones and then, you know, tropical Skittles, but I talk about this all the time, so I'm not gonna belabor it. I also talk about these too much. I feel like NARS has really made a splash in the last year and renewed their presence on the scene, and I love to see it. It is a rare combination of what I think are good taste levels. You know, they're not afraid to be adventurous. They don't think that like you have to be demure in order to be sophisticated. Like, there are adventurous shades, and so it's like I love exploring their displays because they have colors that other brands just won't do, but they have the budget to do that too, and they have the reputation to do that too, and they have the formulas to back it up. And so it's like when they have something that comes out that's new, like their explicit lipsticks, I'm going to be drawn to them like a moth to a flame because I'm like, I want to see what is coming out of the hive mind of NARS right now. The reformulation of these blushes has been fantastic. I have, I think, 5 or 6 of them at this point. You know, I just keep buying them. They're fantastic. Like, if I'm thinking of a powder blush that I need in a color, NARS is where I'm going to look first. Also, no fragrance. All right. This one might surprise y'all a little bit. I have 3 Merit blushes here. This is very much a case of like, we're coming back around to this vibe, I think, in the way that we use makeup. That's kind of like when people say, I hate to shop, so when I find pants that fit me or a sweater that looks great on me, I'm gonna buy it in every color kind of thing. I feel like that's very similar to the way that I'm interacting with makeup right now. Is like, I know the textures that I want to achieve on my skin. What are the products that can do that in a reliable way that I think the colors are really special? And especially these new ones that have come out from Merit. Oh my gosh, I've been using these constantly. So the thing about these, this is again the Flush Balm, and they're in, I think this packaging is really cool. Although my friend Natalie made a fantastic point. She was like, there can't be so much product in there that they couldn't make a concave in the bottom of it, and then they'd be stackable. How satisfying would that be? Someone hire Natalie to consult. Like, are you kidding me? What a missed opportunity. Anyway, these 3 shades of the Merit Flush Balm have basically become the beautiful balm texture that I finish with in every makeup look lately, because they don't obscure the look or change the look so much, because they're not that pigmented, but they're pigmented enough that they do show up and they do look like a decision. And this is Lusitano, Bespoke, and Archival. I'm gonna swatch these to show you why each one serves a specific purpose. Archival is the well, you can't really tell, I have my Kackie lip gloss on, but it is the color of my lips, naturally, is that kind of, you know, slightly blue neutral mauve. That's the color of my lips. So it's like anytime I need to bring something back down to earth in terms of a makeup look, I just kind of touch that in the local color areas, and it's going to bring things back towards things that look skin native on me. And it's one of the best formulas that I have found that achieves the Patrick Ta effect of bringing the skin texture back. That has been something that is obviously, like, I have a broken record about it in this video. It's something that's so huge to me because my skin is so dry. I want it to look healthy. And so even by the time I get done with my makeup, sometimes I'm just like, ah, where's the glow? And it's like these kinds of products that soothe my soul. So the next one is Bespoke. And you know what? Bespoke is just that girl. Like, yes, we could spend all day like diagnosing what that color is, but who cares? I've been complaining a lot lately about the fact that I've been having to buy lipsticks in order to get blush colors that I want, because no one is making adventurous blush shades or even like nuanced or interesting blush shades. And like, this is finally satisfying that yen. Like, someone else was annoyed by the fact that they weren't there and they decided to make them. So then we have Lusitano. It is an absolutely beautiful pinky coral. It's so like cheerful and bright. I feel like it's going to be easier for a lot of people to wear in terms of corals, because the more orange a coral gets, the fewer people that it kind of works on. You know, you have to have a really warm complexion to be able to pull that off. This has a lot of pink in it, which is going to make it more accommodating. It does pull a little bit pinker on me, but it also has that like vividness to it that makes it look really intentional. And it's just, again, it just looks healthy. It looks cheerful. I'm wearing it today. I love it. I forgot to mention another bronzer. The Glossier bronzer in sale. If you know, you know. There have been a lot of eyeshadow palettes in circulation lately that I've been reviewing, and while I've like kept some of them out, quote unquote, they're not like living in my brain's flash drive memory of like, that's the thing I'm gonna reach for next. What I am reaching for are eyeshadow crayons. I keep, like, they're called eyeshadow sticks. I always want to call them eyeshadow crayons, and I'm gonna call them eyeshadow crayons. So the main one, obviously, Bobbi Brown Cinnamon. I live in this color. It's just so perfect, because for those of us who have neutral to warm complexions, some taupes and things like that tend to go like pure gray sooty, and you have to be kind of careful. And so I like completely overcompensating and just going all the way towards like clay brown. It works beautifully and wears so long. I have also pulled her back out, y'all. This is too old. I shouldn't be using this, but at the same time, I'm using it always, like, I'm not like stabbing it in my eye. I don't know. This is the Victoria Beckham. How much of this do I have left? I still have that much left. This is the Victoria Beckham Eyewear in Trench, and it is like the next standard deviation from my skin tone, and it works so beautifully as a base for my eyes, like these two things together. I used to use pecan all the time. I would still use pecan, but I do prefer cinnamon on me. You know, your tastes kind of fluctuate and change, but right now I'm going towards warmth just because I think I'm overcompensating for how cold it is. But this combo right here is it, and these are two incredible, very reliable formulas. Now, you'll notice I almost never don't have shimmer on my eyelids. I don't know why. I'm just kind of like an old YouTube girl in that sense, where I just think that a makeup, if I'm gonna go to the effort to use eyeshadow and build the illusion, I'm going to have the like endorphin reward of putting glitter on my eyes. That's just who I am. And I've been getting comments from a lot of people being like, what is your eyeshadow? It's so pretty. And honestly, it's just the fact that I wear things on my eyelids that tend to look fantastic under bright lights because they have sparkles. And the way I've been accomplishing that, I have been collecting, frankly. I have more, yeah. I have another one downstairs. I hope to get all of them at some point, but this is the Hourglass Scattered Light eyeshadow. It's as old as the hills. This is not new. I hope they come out with new shades. That would be neat. We still don't have like a true bedroomized brown in this. I think Ray is the closest that we come, and I have that on right now. I have another one on top. I'll tell you about it. This is just a formula that is so reliably beautiful, and I feel like it does kind of like capture the sophisticated, exciting like perfect medium, right? But like that is smoke and wow. You know, like that's what they all look like. They just have this beautiful silicone-y smoothness to them that has a little bit of like a spangly refractive quality, and they just get noticed. You know, they're just something that throughout the day or as I'm editing my videos or anything like that, I'm like, glad I did that. That looks fantastic. And the other thing that I have on my eyes right now is something that is so out of character for me, but I was in Sephora by myself at one point and they didn't even have it in stock. I ended up ordering it online because I was so impressed by it. It's that Too Faced Disco Crush, and this is in Magic Sprinkles. It's like the palest peach ever. And it's different from all those other ones in shade, and also it just has less pigment and more actual sparkle. And so it's like you dab, 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 and it just goes and like lights your eyelids up. It's so pretty. If you're looking at these on the display or if you're looking at them online, try and think about them in terms of like undertone, because they're gonna be able to shift a tone because they're translucent. I think you can build them up and wear them on their own, but I think that they are best used as like really exciting spangly toppers. And so when you look at this color right here, it's like, okay, I can use that to warm up and richen something on my eyelid. And there are ones that you can use to cool it off or make it deeper or make it more purple or pink or whatever. But think about it in that sense of like, it's gonna be almost like a mixer that you add last, but it makes such a difference. And so it's like when something is getting a little too cool toned, a little too sooty on my lids, that one can really save everything. Brows, I've gotten way into the Typology brow gel. I have this in soft brown and it's so pretty. It's really, really pretty. I like it a lot, like would repurchase. It's just such a nice color and it doesn't break my eyebrows out or anything. Like sometimes a lot of them do if they're too waterproof and stuff. And I just find that it has like a nice amount of like medium hold and the color stands alone and like really makes my eyebrows present in a look. Like I love the Merit one, but I do need to try it in a deeper shade, I think, because lately I've just been into brows and this is giving me all that I've been looking for. Let's talk about lips real quick. If you're new here, you might not know about my duo here with Thrive Cosmetics, but they named a shade after me in their lip liner originally, and then I asked Carissa if she could put it in a lip gloss for me. But this is not a formal collab. I'm not like making a cut of this any more than any creator who would post an affiliate link. It's just my favorite thing to wear. It's what I'm wearing on my lips right now. Like this lip liner to me goes with everything. This gloss is such a phenomenal formula. A minty tingle, a minty plump, which I love, and it's just the right amount of color. So I just wanted to shout that out. We're actually going to breeze through the lips real quick because these are ones that I have belabored. But again, if you're new here, this is the combo that I wear the most. Like it's gonna be top shelf all year. So just get used to it, I guess. So next, a quick favorite, mainly because I just think it makes my lips look so freaking sexy, okay? Like there's something about this particular color and the way that like as it blends, because it's the formula too. So this is the Makeup Forever Artist Color Pencil in Endless Cacao. And this is not a new product at all, but on me, being kind of neutral warm, not super, super warm. Some people like in my comments were saying that like a warm undertone made this turn like very gray on them by contrast. So, you know, bear that in mind. They have a lot of undertones of this particular pencil, but what I like about this is that it isn't formulated like this. This is kind of that waxy silicone-y formulation from Thrive that goes on really beautifully. You can wear it as like a lipstick if you really wanted to. It's that creamy, but this is really dry. It actually feels like a colored pencil from like that you would use as an artist. And so as it wears, as it blends, it does kind of blend away a little bit, but never completely. People in my comments have been like, oh, it doesn't wear very long. This is not, I would not consider this a long wearing lip liner in that sense. It is very much more about like being this kind of like barely there lip contour that you'll catch yourself in the mirror over the course of the day and be like, who is she? You know, he, they. Like it's such an effective lip contour, especially with the lipstick that I just bought it with. Okay, let's just, I mean, I want them to come out with even more shades because again, I want to see what's coming out of the hive mind of NARS, but so far it is a record for any lipstick line to have 2 shades that I can wear effortlessly. As a low contrast person with small close set eyes and lip filler, my lips tend to take over a makeup look pretty quickly if I put anything that is like even opaque on them, you know? If I give them the chance to take over, they're like ketchup or like ranch dressing, you know what I mean? It's like everything tastes like that. So I have here Envy and Exposed, and they are my 2 go-to like nude lips right now that are just really freaking sexy, okay? I like them and they go really beautifully with all of these lip liners. As you can tell, I'm really into just like a brown nude lip at the moment. I swear they're two different colors. This is Envy and this is Exposed. Exposed is a little tiny bit cooler. Envy is still a nude, but it looks kind of peach by comparison. And the formula wears so beautifully. It is a true cream lipstick. So it's like you can blot it and it will wear a little bit more matte and it wears really evenly. You can build it up. You can get a really beautiful, rich, like cream lipstick payoff out of it, but it's super flexible. The way I like to wear it is, you know, the whole French girl thing of just like feathering it at the edges because, again, it helps my lips not be so high contrast. If you kind of, you know, soften the edges of something, it's not going to stand out in such stark contrast, but these colors are still effortless for me to wear. And like I said earlier in the video, I've been impatient with brands putting out boring colors in blush, and NARS Explicit Lipstick was the place that I found the blush that I wanted in the form of a lipstick. And that was why I bought Envy the first time, is because it's a phenomenal cream blush. So I use them both ways. They're absolutely gorgeous. I love this formula. It's something that I'm like rooting for them to keep expanding. I think that's the long and short of it. There are obviously other things that I have sitting out, but like it's more so that they had the feeling, not so much that I have them in rotation that I'm using them. It's just kind of like I don't want to forget that that exists. Mainly like it's more bronzers. It's just more bronzers. I've got like the Hermes bronzer, I've got the Gucci bronzer, like it's a lot of bronzers. I don't want to just exhaust y'all on bronzers, but all going towards, again, that video that I am planning where I'm going to basically break down, probably mostly in the form of bronzers. We're going to talk about the nuanced differences between the undertones and the depth and the finishes in bronzers, and how you can use pretty much anything to do what you're trying to achieve if you understand how it compares to the other thing that's on your face. So that's my next color theory video that I'm planning. Thank y'all for being here for my top shelf. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do give the video a thumbs up. I would appreciate that. If you're new here or you just haven't subscribed yet, subscribe down below while you are here. We have a lot of fun here. I really put my heart and soul into these reviews. I'm excited about what's coming out on the market right now. I love when I have more ideas than time, you know, like that's a great feeling. I feel like I'm very abundant and like idea rich at the moment. So if you want to get on the excitement, go ahead and subscribe. I want to thank Louisa for partnering with me for a part of today's video. Definitely check out their Valentine's Day sale using my link in the description. I'll put a video up here that I think you'll enjoy if you liked this one. Thank you so much for watching, for being here. I love y'all so much, and I'll see you in the next one.